Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we meet to go through a new short story. The story we chose for you today is the story of Princess Diana. The full story of Princess Diana is already on our channel from her birth to the end of her life. But today we are only going to cover the last chapter of her life, the last few events that happened in her life before her tragic end. Through this video, we are not only going to read the last chapter, but we are also going to try and learn some grammar and some vocabulary based on the story of Princess Diana. If you are new to the channel or if you enjoy learning English in a meaningful way through stories, this is the right channel for you. If you have already subscribed and you already watch our videos, make sure to like this video because we already guarantee that you are going to enjoy it. And finally, if you know someone who would love to join us, would love to learn English with us, make sure to share this video and make sure, of course, to join also our WhatsApp group that you will find the link to in the description below to get access to the PDF of the stories that we share on the channel. So without further ado, let's start with the chapter. The last chapter, The People's Princess. The whole world loved Diana. So Diana was popular not only in the United Kingdom, but also in the entirety of the world. She was warm and kind and full of compassion. Later on, we are going to see what do we mean with compassion. She held the hands of people who were sick with AIDS when others were afraid. And this is a true fact. Diana made sure to appear on TV holding the hands of people with AIDS, which was believed at the time to spread through only the touch of hands. Because AIDS, as we all know, is a contagious disease. It can go from one person to another. But it does not get transmitted only by a simple touch to the people. So Princess Diana helped break this wrong idea. Let's finish. She sat with children who had no parents and made them smile. She walked through dangerous fields to show the world how landmines hurt innocent people. Landmine is another word that we are going to talk about later. Even when her own life was difficult, she always cared about others. That's why people everywhere called her the People's Princess. So this is where this nickname came from, the People's Princess, because she was a person who enjoyed, who loved helping other people. After her divorce in 1996, of course, we moved a lot forward now. We are after her divorce, the end of her marital life with the Prince of Britain. So now, after her divorce, so let's focus on that number there. 1996. This is how most people would read this number. But if you are reading it as a date, a very nice tip that you can do is to read two numbers and two numbers. So instead of saying 1996, you can say 1996. After her divorce in 1996, Diana tried to build a new, quieter life. Quieter meaning calmer, more relaxed, and especially a little more away from the public, because she was a very public person. She would go to public events, she would help people publicly, she would appear on TV. But after her divorce in 1996, she tried to stay away from the public life. She spent happy days with her sons, William and Harry. Harry, I think, is the prince that most people would know. He is the one who married an actress from the United States, got rid or gave away his title of prince, and then moved to live in Canada, I think, or the United States. She also fell in love with a kind man named Dodi Fade. I hope I'm pronouncing this name correctly. So now we are way after the Princess Diana moving away from the royal family and leaving behind the life with the prince, and now she is trying to build a normal life outside of the UK palaces. On the night of the 30th August 1997, Diana and Dodi, the guy that we talked about, who is dating, were in Paris. Many photographers waited outside their hotel. We will see what we call this type of photographers. Photographers who go around and take pictures of celebrities, especially in their very private moments, when they are with someone they love, when they are dating someone who is still a secret. And also, of course, if you know what do we call this type of photographers, you can write it for me in the chat. To escape the cameras, to run away from the cameras, they left quickly in a fast car. The driver went very fast through the city. In a tunnel called Pont de l'Alma, the car crashed hard into a pillar. What is a tunnel? So a tunnel is a road that goes under a mountain or under a hill. So Diana was trying to escape, her and her driver and her lover. They were escaping from the people who were taking pictures of them, and they crashed the car. The crash was terrible. Dodi and the driver died at once, meaning they died in the accident, not later. Diana was badly hurt. She was rushed to the hospital, meaning they took her very fast. I'm sorry if you can hear some motorcycles in the background. But the doctors could not save her, unfortunately. Early on the 31st August 1997, Diana died. She was only 36 years old. Can you believe she was only 36 years old when she passed away? Millions of people cried. Streets in London were covered with flowers, cards, and candles. And actually, if you go to Google and search the flowers that were given for in her memorial, you will find that actually it was a large amount of flowers. Her funeral was watched by more than 2 billion people on TV. But many questions remained. Why was the car going so fast? Was the driver drinking? Why did the photographer chase them? Why did the photographer follow them when they were trying to escape? Some people said the paparazzi caused the accident. The paparazzi are the type of photographers we are talking about. Others believed darker theories, that the British royal family or secret agents did not want Diana to marry Dodi. So they made the crash happen. Official reports said it was a tragic accident caused by speed and alcohol. Yet the mystery and the theories are still talked about today. Diana's light went out too soon, but her kind heart and gentle smile will never be forgotten. So this was the end of this chapter. As I said, the full story, not just this chapter, can be found on the other video on our channel. But today we are only choosing one chapter to try and learn some language from it. So now that we have gone through the last chapter of the story of Diana, now we are going to try and learn some language through it. We are going to start with 2 words and then another 2 words and finally 2 grammar points. The first word we took from the story is the word compassion. Compassion, as the definition we have here, is a strong feeling of wanting to help someone who is suffering. So basically, if you are a compassionate person, so compassion is the feeling, and compassionate is an adjective. A person is compassionate. You are compassionate when you want to help people in need, when you feel very bad for people who need help. This is what we call a compassionate person. From the text, we saw she was more kind and full of compassion when talking about Princess Diana. Another example, the doctor showed great compassion to the frightened child. Frightened meaning scared. Landmines is another word that I told you to remember because I'm going to explain it. What do we mean by landmines? So land meaning ground. So landmines are a type of bombs, explosives that we put under the ground so people do not see them, but when they step on them, they explode. Bombs hidden in the ground that can explode years later, and this is what's dangerous about land mines. From the text, she walked through dangerous fields to show the world how landmines hurt innocent people. She was a person who tried to warn others about the dangers of landmines. Another example, many countries are still clearing landmines from old wars. As we saw in the definition, landmines can stay for a very long time and they can hurt people even after decades, meaning after tens of years. So this is why a lot of countries are doing a lot of effort to get rid of them. Next one, paparazzi. This is the photographers that we saw were following Diana around her death. Photographers who follow famous people to take pictures from the to take pictures. Paparazzi, photographers who follow famous people to take pictures. From the text, of course, many photographers waited outside the hotel, and another example is the singer tried to hide from the paparazzi. The last word we are going to cover is the word theory. So a theory is an idea that tries to explain why something happened. So basically, if something happened, a lot of theories start to emerge, start to be created. When Diana died, there were a lot of theories. Maybe she was drunk. Maybe the driver was drunk. Maybe she committed suicide. Maybe it was a normal accident. Maybe the royal family was behind the accident. So there were a lot of theories, I mean, a lot of ideas to try and explain the accident. Another example, scientists have many theories about how the universe began. Of course, for scientific theories, things are a little bit different because a scientific theory is based on evidence. Okay, now we are going to move to the grammar points. As I said, I chose for you two simple grammar points from the text that we have just read. So let's go through them together. The past simple. The past simple, we talk or we use the past simple when we want to talk about an action that happened and finished in the past. For example, Diana died on 31st August 1997. So the action of to die here, the verb to die, already happened, already finished, and the time of its happening is in the past. Another example, I played football 2 days ago, or I watched a movie 2 days ago. So here the verb watch or play already happened, already finished. The next point that I have for you is the passive voice. And this is a lesson that a lot of people struggle with, but it's very simple. The idea of the passive voice is that we are talking about an action, but we don't mention or we don't want to mention who did the action. For example, she was rushed to the hospital, meaning Princess Diana was rushed or was taken to the hospital. Here, we don't mention who took her, but we are more interested in the fact that she was taken to the hospital. I'm going to give you another example. My phone was stolen. My phone was stolen. I'm more interested in telling you that I lost my phone than the fact that someone took it or who exactly took it. So this is basically the point of the passive voice. Of course, we may later have a whole video about how can we conjugate verbs in the passive voice, or how to transform sentences in the passive voice. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give me your idea in the comments of this video. What do you believe happened with Diana? Did she die in a normal accident, or was that a planned accident? Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.